You're listening to the new WCEG Network on WCEGTalkRadio.com. Click your live stream tab or watch this live on your smart TV on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn under WCEG Network. I'm Wardell Richardson, your show host here on WCEG The Hollywood of the South for the next hour. We're your worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Subscribe free to our YouTube channel on WCEG Network. Like, follow, and connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, and LinkedIn. You can now download on our free mobile apps, iOS, Apple iPhones, and iPads. Go to Apple Store, search for WCEG Talk Radio. On Apple TV, search for WCEG Network TV. On your Apple Watch, search for WCEG Network. On your Android mobile phones and tablets, go to Google Play and search for WCEG Talk Radio. Last but not least, the topics and opinions are those of the show hosts and guests and not those of WCEG Network. Thank you for your continued support. Once again, I am Wardell Richardson here on WCEG The Hollywood of the South. Actor, host, I do a plethora of things, but mostly I'm an actor and director and the CEO of Raindance Films and the host right here of WCEG The Hollywood of the South. I am so honored to have my guest on here, but before I bring her on, make sure you go to your local streaming networks and support your brother. You know, I got several movies out there on different platforms. On Amazon, The 30-Day Rule, How to Love a Sister, a docudrama, Dream on Dreamer 1 and Dream on Dreamer 2, Object of My Infection, The Tree Widow, and Flesh. So those are several movies I'm on Amazon, and my directorial debut movie, The Killing Secret. I have to write all this down because there's a lot of movies. But if y'all haven't seen Dream on Dreamer 1 and Dream on Dreamer 2, you're sleeping under a rock. I've been getting a lot of rave reviews about it. And Dream on Dreamer 3 will be coming out next year. It's a 3-part movie. You do not want to miss it. Starring myself and Michelangelo. This is a brilliant movie. I love it. Make sure you go and check me out. I also have movies on Tubi, the same movies I just said, and on Peacock, I have Addiction by Subtraction, The 30-Day Rule, and The Killing Secret. Also on Falcon. So I have movies on almost every platform there is. All you have to do is put my name in, and those movies will come up. So make sure you go out and support your boy, okay? And let me know what you think. I love constructive criticism, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Let me know what you think. You know, a lot of people get together and watch some of the movies I do with their families and whatnot and call me back and let me know what they think about my movie. And I love all the criticism, all the advice, all the love and support for watching my movie. Recently, we had a movie premiere and it was fantastic. Shout out to Tiffany. The movie is A Rose Through Cancer, starring the lovely lady who's on my show today. And we're going to talk a lot about that. Before I get to that, shout out to all the winning candidates for this past election, which the Democratic office took over. Shout out to that. The Republicans didn't have a chance, and we all know why. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the Democratic department did their thing. Total landslide. So I am very happy about that. And I'm looking forward to future developments on all the candidates and what they're going to bring to the table. It was a very, very great race and a much needed race to change a lot of things. And it happened the way it's supposed to happen. So with that being said, I want to bring on my guest. And I just mentioned recently there was a movie that I was a part of. It was a brilliant movie based on cancer called A Rose Through Cancer. And this was my first time meeting this actress. I didn't know she was as big as she was, but she is doing her thing, and she's one of the nicest people that I've met. She's talented, and if you haven't seen the movie Straw, if you haven't seen it, you have got to go check it out because you will see Schelle Purcell. Schelle, what is up?
Hey, Wardell.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing today. Thank you so much for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you having the time to come on because you've been a busy woman.
Thank you.
And, and we're going to talk about a lot of that. So,
Okay.
first, I want people to know a little bit of your background. Where are you from? If you're not from Atlanta, how you wind up coming to Atlanta?
Okay, well, I was born and raised in Gulfport, Mississippi. Shout out to the
Mhm.
SIP. Okay, and after Hurricane Katrina, I relocated to North Carolina. So I spent a long period of time, almost 15 years in North Carolina. And I started writing stage plays there because I was homesick, wanted to come home, and ended up producing some of my stage plays. And then I just kept challenging myself to do more in entertainment. So I did a couple of short films, and that led to my first feature film where I met Ulrich, who plays my
Your
husband.
husband,
Both of
yeah.
my feature films, Two Wrongs and Two Wrongs Two, both are on Tubi and Prime. And so once we finished Two Wrongs in North Carolina, O was like, yo, you might as well just come on to Atlanta because things were like really, really hot at that moment. And so my oldest daughter was like a junior in college at the time. And I'm like, well, I know she's going to do great. I packed up my youngest and I said, all right, Ulrich and my girlfriend Nikita, they convinced me to come on down to Atlanta, and that's how
Right.
I ended up here. And it's been an experience, needless to say, but here we are.
Yes, you are. And you are doing some amazing things. First, I want to get into your comedy background because you are a stand-up comedian.
I just recently started that.
Really? How did, how
Yeah.
did how did that come about?
Well, I was doing improv. I started out doing improv over in Country Wayne's World, and once, like, I didn't even know that that was a thing. I wasn't into
Right.
social media and stuff like that. And when I ended up working with them, that's when I found out, like, oh, this is a big deal. This is people are doing these skits, and he has an amazing following. And shout out to everybody who is still following me from my time in Wayne's World. So that's how I ended up doing comedy. Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, she's so funny. She's so funny. She's so funny." And I've always been an amazing storyteller.
Hmm.
So I was like, "Am I?" And then I had the opportunity to do chocolate sundaes at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood.
Okay.
And I told my manager at the time, I said, "Listen, if I go down here and do chocolate sundaes and two people laugh, it ain't gonna take but two chuckles. I'm coming back and I'm shooting a comedy special." And that's what I did. I went down there. I had never done it before. I had no idea. Um, I know you're supposed to look for a sign when you need to wrap your set up. I didn't see the light, so I went over my time. They didn't invite me back, house and ever. I did come back and shoot my own comedy special, and it's on my website, ShellePurcell.com, and it's called Pop
Okay.
Your Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
Gotcha. No, I'm gonna make sure I go and watch that because
That's
I
how
got
I got to doing stand up. And so back in the improv world with comedian Jordan Jackson. And so whenever he's hosting or doing something in stand up, he always like, you want to come through? And oftentimes I say yes because I always want to work on my stuff.
to see you do a company because you just have you just a humorous person anyway. Like you just funny to be around. You make people laugh. That's just your normal self. So
Thank
being on stage is, I mean, being a comedian or stand up comedian, I can see that all day long.
Well, thank you. We have a good time when I'm out there.
So we previously just had a premiere. And like you brought up, you and Ulrich starred in A Rose Through Cancer, and that was a very serious role for you.
Yeah.
How was it getting into that particular role?
Well, I think having lost loved ones to cancer
Hmm.
and knowing that, how that one word, that one diagnosis can change someone's life, it I have to always put myself in the position when I'm doing emotional work to
Right.
think of my life without my daughters.
Okay.
And it just changes the whole world around me. And I would not want to think of a world without my daughters. So that's how I kind of got ready for all of my emotional scene work. Ulrich and I have such good chemistry. We get to play in those spaces, and Tiffany is such an amazing director. She knew our chemistry because she co-directed Two Wrongs Two. So
Okay.
she knew our chemistry, and she knew what we were kind of capable of when it came to, doing things on screen. And she let us play. And it was
Okay.
important for her to, trust us enough to make her words come to life. And that's what we tried.
Yeah, and cancer is a big thing. I talked to Ulrich on the last show that I had, and to go through that because I went through cancer through the whole process, and we was shooting the movie, and a lot of people didn't know that.
Oh, I
But
didn't. I sat in someone's salon chair, and the news was broken to me. I turned around with almost like a little attitude, like, what you mean? Nobody told me nothing. So, but we are so grateful for God's healing. So,
yes, we are.
yeah.
Yes, we are. What about the film was the most impactful to you? Because when you do a film like that, there are some scenes that really get to you. And I was able to see some of the scenes that you did, but when I saw the movie, I was like, whoa. And everyone who saw the movie, all the people, everyone was saying, hey, the lead girl, and I'm like, you mean Schelle? She's amazing. Everyone said that.
Thank you.
So what about that? What was like your most impactful scene to do in that movie?
I think my scenes with Mama D
Yeah.
and a mother's love and
Mhm.
being a mom and my mom still being with me and hearing my mom after she saw the film express how it made her feel to see me go through that, even with Mama D being my mother. So I don't ever want my mama to leave me, or I don't ever want to leave my mother. So
Right.
Mama D has such a nurturing spirit.
Yeah.
So when you're in scene work with her, that's all you see is a loving mother. So it was easy for me to fall into her arms, and we feed off of each other
Yeah.
emotionally because she's such a mother. And I'm just Tiffany cast this movie like I don't know if she could have picked, and this is just me boasting on us. Um,
Right.
I don't think she could have picked a better cast in every role that was portrayed in the film. It
Yes.
it was done beautifully. We all stood out in our own respects and meshed, and the brotherhood that
Right.
you all showed each other in the different spaces in your lives within the film.
Right.
You just don't get to see that often,
Right.
on
Yeah.
television. And that was a beautiful thing to see.
Right. And the movie we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is A Rose Through Cancer, which will be coming out in AMC theaters real soon. So make sure y'all watch out for that. We'll be promoting that as soon as we get the information on when it's going to be airing. On that note, what has been your biggest challenge in this career? You've done quite a few things, and I want to talk about straw. Don't think I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to get to that. But what's been your biggest challenge in your career?
As an independent filmmaker, I think wanting to produce so many things. Like I have a slate of like 14 projects that I would love to produce,
Right.
but it is so hard sometimes to get people on board to sow their, financial blessings into a project, especially if they don't know you. And you want to do the things, and so you start doing it, and then your money run out, and then you have to put it on hold, or you have to, you know, tell actors that you want them to be in your project, and you want to do deferred payments, and people are not working on passion projects now
Right.
like they
Right.
used to, because people making movies with their phones.
Yes, they are.
So, for me, the most challenging part is always to find funding. I have holiday movies in my Rolodex. I have series in my Rolodex. I have thrillers and dramas. I have them all, but it's just like I'm sitting on them because
Yeah.
again, things take, funding. And so people always say, well, why don't you make it a short film? Why don't you make it this and why don't you make it that, and then just see. But if I want to go hard, I want to go hard. Let's do the whole thing, y'all. And then you're begging people all over again to basically work for free, and
I
nobody's doing it.
totally agree with you. The biggest issue is getting funding. I
Yes,
totally agree with you. I wish that there was some way that there was an organization that provided funding for films and you go and promote your project and they will fund it for you. That needs to happen ASAP. There are places, but it's really hard because films are such a huge project to invest in. There's it could be a huge loss,
yes,
but it can also be a huge win. You just never know which way you're going to go, and I think that's what messes with a lot of the investors.
yeah.
But listen. I'm always here for you if you want me for anything. I'm in. I'm
Thank
telling you right
you,
now, I am in.
thank
so,
you, thank you.
so it's all good because I have a lot of projects as well that I want to produce and put out, and I'm looking for the same thing. That's why I can relate to you.
Well, we'll cook each other up.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely look for who's been your biggest supporter through your whole process.
My kids, especially now that they're adults.
Hmm.
Even when I started doing stage plays years ago, I would always include them in those things because I wanted them to understand, if I make it, this is for us. So at very young ages, they were collecting money at the door for the stage plays. They were ushers, they were handing out programs. My oldest daughter got to a point where she was like, Mama, I want to help you cast. And so she got in her casting bag. And see, they watch more than just urban content or films with Black leads. So Bria kind of has a great eye for casting.
Right.
And Chanel, she does hair and wardrobe in her adult life now. She's just
Okay.
like, she's my part-time stylist, and honey, she'll send me back in the house. Mm-mm. Go try again. So I feel like they have always been rooting for me. And now that Bria is married and has her family, and Chanel is in the latter stages of, nursing school, they are even pushing me more. Hey, go do that thing. Hey, we good, invest in a stylist. Stop trying to put money under the mattress for us. We're adults now. I have a husband now. So it's hard to kind of let go, but at the same time, it's always good to have their blessing. Like, Mom, you're not leaving us. Trust me. If we want to go, we gonna go. So that's great. My parents,
Okay.
they're just all, I have a little village, and a lot of them have been consistent from my very first stage play. Even from high school, they like, you always been funny. You always have had a way with, and now it's just so good to see that. And I never wanted to be an actress, Wardell. Never.
Really?
Never. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to teach kids how to read. Eventually, I was going to be a principal, and one day maybe a superintendent. I don't even, as a writer, I tell people all the time, I think I just barely passed English. Might have got a strong C plus. Never. And so to see what God had in store for me as opposed to
Right.
what I thought, it's just been like, wow. And I was gonna have, my name on my door. Their little desk was gonna be cute. It was gonna be the top reading class on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Well, you probably don't have your name on the door, but your name is certainly on some stuff around
It's
the world.
also some other stuff.
You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? All around
yes,
the world, your name is bigger than it would have been on that
yes.
door. How about that?
I'm telling you, he done showed me. I guess he told me, yeah, that's what you thought, ma'am.
Now, Straw, you auditioned for Tyler Perry to get in Straw. Now, how was that process?
Well, I have been auditioning for Mr. Perry projects since I moved here in 2015.
Okay.
And, you know, Raven, she's been asking to see me. And on the 10th year of being in Atlanta and auditioning for all projects out at Tyler Perry Studios, Straw chose me. They chose that particular role, and I know that there's a time and a season for everything that we all, you know, go through in our careers and our lives. This was my year.
Hey, when I watched Straw, because I had no idea you was in the movie. So,
I could tell from my phone call.
Oh, I had to call you as soon as I had to call you as soon as I saw it. So I'm looking at Straw, just minding my business. I say, you know, because I support Atlanta actors, Atlanta, you know, despite anything that people say about Tyler Perry, that man has done an excellent job at putting work out. And, you know, a lot of his work is really, really good. You know, I like a lot of his work. Straw, to me, is one of his best films. So when I watched it, I saw you come out there. I just was like, wait a minute. And I just looked. I said, is that Schelle? I said, oh my God. And I just died laughing. I died laughing because you killed that role. Like you murdered that role.
That was so mean. And a
Oh,
lot of people say that, you know, some people say they were watching it, but not watching it, and they could hear. So they were listening.
right.
And a lot of people who DM'd me say, I heard your voice, but I didn't know that was you. And then I looked because at the time I had locks.
Right.
And I asked them on the way, you know, when we were doing wardrobe, I said, do you all want me to tie my locks back, or how do y'all want my hair? Well, hair and makeup pulled some of my locks out and tied that scarf on my head like that, and they took the picture and sent it off the set. They said, that's your look right there. I said, well, here we go. And that's how Gloria showed up with them locks just hanging all out of that scarf. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh man, you were so mean.
I know, Wardell. And I was just like, let me go ahead and see what this gonna be. And let me tell you this. You keep talking because I should have done this. My computer finna die. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. Well, the movie itself was a great movie. And when you get back to the screen,
I'm
I
good.
want to you gotta keep that computer charged here.
Let me tell you something. It happens when you up all night working on the computer, and then it's time to go. You just throw the stuff in the bag and make sure you have your charger. So I do apologize for that
It's all
unprofessional
good. It's
moment.
all
I'm so
good.
sorry.
Now, how was it working with Taraji? I mean, this is a woman who I would love to work with Taraji. She's one of my favorite female actresses. How was it working with her?
So the time that Taraji and I were on set together, she mainly was down on the ground where everybody saw
Right.
her in my scenes, and I
Right.
was mainly up in the balcony space where everybody saw me. And there were moments where this it's not funny, but when she was getting wet and rained on, all of the stuff,
Yeah.
she was screaming and she said, "What? They're getting wet." That ain't how you wrote it. No, ma'am. It's okay. You're fine. That's all I could say. I didn't write it. This is your boy. It was great. She was amazing to even watch because her commitment to what was going on in the scene, having to get rained on over and over again. And she's just going back to one, and having that moment.
Right.
Just amazing. Just the commitment that it takes to get, I'm talking about poured down rain. They made it rain on Port Taraja. I just looked at her. This poor baby just love
That
you.
was an intense scene to see her get thrown out, and you just like, yeah, I told like.
It was supposed to be back at 10 o'clock. I just, and I channeling that landlord put me in the mindset of the office manager with an eviction that I had in my adult life. And so all I could think about when I was preparing for Gloria was how mean and nasty that lady was in the leasing office when I'm telling her, because I was on set of another project. I was shooting Walker in Texas. And the phone call started coming in, and I'm just like, I'm trying to get back to set. And my girlfriend said she won't even take a check from me today. I offered to pay. And this was like after we had gotten a little relief with COVID and we had got back to working.
Right.
And there were so many different programs that were assisting people. If you could prove, you were working before before COVID.
Right.
So I'm on this program with Said County, and honey, that lady in the leasing office was just sick of me. But she had just saw the email correspondence that said the check is on the way was the day before. She just took it upon herself to be mean, nasty. I don't know what I did, but I guess it was a part of my story to be. I'm talking about they got it out of
Oh,
there.
wow.
The hardest part was to be so far away.
Yeah, and you can do
Helpless.
nothing about it.
Helpless. And then I had to go out on set and perform. So,
Oh, wow.
and I'm thinking to myself, Lord, please don't let nobody ask me what's wrong. Please. And that nose had already started turning red because I'm crying. My daughter was at school. She was driving 3 hours back from Albany trying to get there because if your stuff is outside, that means it's free to
Yeah, people
anybody.
gonna start going through all your stuff. Yeah.
One of my friend girls, bless her heart, she was there on duty while my other friends went and got me a U-Haul, and she literally had to get out of her car and was like, this is my friend's stuff. And so that is immediately who I thought of when it was time for me to do the whole Gloria
Well,
character.
yeah.
Just like, this woman did not care. This ain't even her apartment. I don't owe you money, ma'am. You saw the email. That's all I kept saying to her on the phone. But you saw the email. It was sent yesterday. Everything has been approved. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, it is just nothing that I can do.
Oh, wow.
You can't call the lady and see, ma'am, I'm out of town.
Wow.
I'm sorry. And I didn't call her all the names and things. I said, this lady is doing her job, I guess. Lord, this is supposed to be a part of my story. How you gonna fix me from this? And it was just, that's how Gloria became one of Mr. Perry's most hated female characters because it was just so real.
Wow.
I knew how I felt. And I knew some of the things that she said to me that made me feel even smaller than, the shame and embarrassment that comes with being evicted.
Yeah.
And so that's how Gloria lived, and that's the world that she lived in. And I'm so grateful for people who like you, who know me and are like, she's not like that in real life. She's not like that. No, for real. Like
Right.
people are calling me talking about, I almost got to fight my friend because I'm telling her you're not like that in real life. And so I was like, well, thank you. And don't bite people. It's not that serious.
It's so funny because I did a domestic violence film where I played an abusive guy, and it's airing right now on social media. I mean, not social media, but on streaming networks. And that particular film, I am so bad, so bad. And I got so many people that was like, wow, you really mean like that? No, that's not me.
I'm working.
I'm a nice guy. That's just me acting.
I'm working.
I'm working, but you did it so well. Like, how did you do that? You did it so well. That's what I'm
That's my
supposed to
job. That's my job. It's like a chef. This is delicious. Like, oh, how did you make it taste so good? That's my job. I'm a chef.
Well, I really hate that you went through that situation, getting evicted and stuff, but it made you
Oh, it was
pull that,
necessary. It was
man.
necessary. And now
Feel
I
like
have people on TikTok want to fight me. I'm getting beat up. Wait. Somebody said on site when I see
hey, what? You hit me on.
They said, go get me on site. Wait.
Well, you tell them it got you considered for an NAACP Image Award. How
Yeah.
about that?
How about that? Which I don't know what the kids do, what finger it is. I do all of them. Listen, when it came through the pipeline, hey, this is happening.
Right.
I said, for real? She said, yes. And it's for outstanding breakthrough performance in a
Right.
motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a breakthrough. They was upset with me. And it is one of those positions that's good to be in.
Yes, it is.
Because I have put in a lot of work and I have taken a lot of blows. And I often say, well, thank you, Lord, for saving the role of Gloria just for me.
Right.
Because anybody could have been chosen.
Right.
That is the role that was attached to me for my story. And I have had so many things happen, since the airing of Straw. I've been in Women's World magazine. I've been in my hometown magazine. I was on a Hollywood house panel at Essence. Like,
Wow.
it was just so many things. I worked the media room.
Yeah.
And, I'm introduced, hey, this is Schelle Purcell. She was in Tyler Perry's movie Straw. And they're like, oh, what role did you play? I said, I was the landlord. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come on, I need to talk to you. So that's how I could have done like 17 interviews during Essence. And it always started with a smile. And then it ended up like, oh, you was the landlord? You were the landlord. And then why you had to do Taraji like that? What if I answered that question why you had to do Taraji like that? It ain't me. It's not me.
But that tells you how well you carried that character that they brought it to real life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's the only way I can take it. I love when people come. I remember when I did that role in a movie. I played a bad person, and the whole theater booed me. I was so happy.
That's it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, y'all. I want you to boo me.
Thank
I was
you.
horrible.
Thank you.
Right.
And Ulrich, because of his character in Two Wrongs, the first feature that he did with
Right.
me, to this day, people still, especially women, they will call him Kevin Dallas from across the room. Kevin Dallas, I know that's you. I mean, every time somebody, he said, and he'll always tell me, Schelle, you're not going to believe this. I was at the airport. Schelle, you're not going to believe this. I was at the post office. Schelle, you're not going to believe this. I was in the parking lot. Said, Lord. And he sings with the NFL gospel choir.
Right. Yeah.
They had like a meet and greet. And he told me there was this group of women that only wanted to take a picture with him. And so they, cool, come on, y'all. They got him in the picture and they just kind of roughed him up. You think we don't know this, you, Kevin Dallas? We know what you did to Liberty. Take the picture. He said he was dying laughing. And so it's always good to know that people remember your work.
Yeah.
Even now when you say straw and landlord,
Yes.
same response. And so I'm grateful. I'm honored to be up for consideration for that award. When it's voting time for the public, I hope everyone will remember
Right.
Gloria the Landlord and just vote me up because I want to be there. I want to thank everybody publicly on that platform for all of the love that has come from being Gloria.
Yeah, you did your thing, and I am so happy for you. I'm
Thank
happy for
you.
your consideration for the award. I'm like, man, she is doing it. I
Thank you.
love to see people who I've worked with and are good people like actually make it because this people think this is an easy industry to get through, and it's not. Like you said, you auditioned for Tyler Perry for years before you finally got that role, and that role was just for you. So let people know how important it is to like keep on your journey and never give up.
Well, if you're going to be in the entertainment industry, you have to have thicker skin than you think. Because if you have representation and they're submitting you for stuff every time a breakdown comes out and you're being asked to be, seen. Once you do about 15 auditions and you haven't booked anything, you start looking in the mirror at yourself like, well, do I suck? Like, am I the worst?
You
You're
do.
not thinking that this is just not the role for you. They need someone
Right.
taller to match the height of the lead, or they someone else had a crooked eye, whatever it
Right.
is that
Right.
helps
Yeah.
the character. That role wasn't for you. So what I would say to encourage people is keep auditioning, and if you don't have representation, keep submitting. Get in classes because oftentimes you end up meeting someone who may be working on a project, who may cast you in their project while you're waiting on your next booking blessing. So, and it is a very discouraging industry at times. Am I too fat? Am I too skinny? What can I
Yep.
be taller? And it's just so many things that you will take yourself through, but you just have to know that you are enough just the way that you are. If it's attached to your name, there's nothing that's going to stop you from getting it, i.e. Gloria.
Exactly.
10 years of auditioning for Raven, and that is just the role that was attached to me.
Right.
So don't get discouraged. Just keep going and stay around positive people and find you a person who is just as hungry as you are, and make them one of your readers. You all bounce off of each other and take risks when you are taping. Don't do what you know that you're going to see and you can tell the rest of it. Do something different because you have to catch that casting director early on so that they'll stay and watch all of your tape.
Right. And with that, do your best in that role, no matter how big or small it is, because you never know what will happen. As you played the landlord, you was in a couple of scenes or so, and you did so well with that character. Now you up for a double NAACP award.
Yeah. And
So
I tell people in a minute, one-liners matter. If you
yes,
have
they
a
do.
one-liner and you just starting out, that is resume credentials. So
Yep.
Janice sitting at the bar, who line is, I'll have a coffee, please. Black, baby. That's it. We want
That's
it.
it. Yep. It is very important that people like really get into that character and push that character no matter how big it is. Now,
Yeah.
you have been in quite a few series on TV. You've been in Found on NBC, NCIS New Orleans, CBS, on Johnson, and on Bounce, Walker that you mentioned earlier, the CW, Atlanta FX, the Door Prize on Apple TV. What has been one of your favorite projects to do?
Okay, so I have two. My first
Okay.
favorite project and most memorable project was when I worked on Women of the Movement.
Okay.
Jay-Z, Say, Will Smith, they were the executive producers of, well, some of them, of the 6-part series. And the story of Emmett Till's murder was told through his mother's eyes.
Right.
And being born and raised in Mississippi and being a part of this project was the most memorable for me. It was a period piece. So I got to do hair from back then. And we shot in literally these little huts and this old school stuff that was in North Mississippi. The mosquitoes were terrible. But, when you from the country, you know what that life is like.
Right.
So being a part of that and also being nominated for an NAACP Image Award for that series and quite a few wins for the directors and some of the talent. That was a memorable role for me. And it's still streaming on Hulu and maybe ABC if they have an app, but it's called Women of the Movement. And I was recurring in that. My role was the wife. We owned a juke joint, and my husband was there the night that Emmett was taken. And then my husband disappeared. So that was the role that I played. That was my most memorable role. Now, the role that I had the most fun was Underdogs with Snoop and Mike Epps and George Lopez and Tika Sumter.
Oh, I know you laughed all day on that set.
Trying to turn Mike loose on us out there. Some of the best free comedy that I have ever experienced. And I'm talking about just a good time. Just a good time. Fun, laughing every day. Tika and I looking at each other like, so this is what our day is gonna consist of. It was so amazing. It was. Those are my top two that just kind of sit right there.
And you had some amazing experiences. If you could work with one major celebrity male, who would that be? Who is your if your agent called you today and said you're going to be working with this guy in the movie, what guy would that be?
Jacob Lattimore.
Ah.
I am addicted to The Chi, and to watch Jacob Lattimore from when they first started to
Mm-hmm.
where he is now as an actor, for me, it's almost like mind blowing because I got to see his growth. And this past season, when his mother was diagnosed with cancer and everything that he was growing through as a man, as a father, and just he has transformed into something beautiful. And I think he's the finest thing in the world. But if I would be able to like play his mom or an older sister or something, I
Yeah.
feel like Jacob and I would really have some amazing chemistry. He's doing amazing, and I would love to see him in more stuff.
Okay. And what female?
What female would I love to work with? I'm gonna tell you two. I would love to work with Felicia Rashad because I think we favor. I have a picture that I did, an honorary picture of her. Honey, you could not tell me that I was not Felicia Rashad. And I would love to work with Regina King.
Hmm.
Oh, it's something about that woman. I'm just like,
I'm a big fan of Regina King.
oh, just direct me. Let me be a salsa. Do you want me to get your water, Miss King? If I could just hear how you direct, like, I would love to work with Regina King. She can
Wow.
direct me and Felicia Rashad for all I care. Just put us
Hey,
together.
that woman is phenomenal.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. And you already worked with the female that I always wanted to work with, Taraji.
Yeah.
She is just phenomenal, man. I think she is one of the best actresses out there. I would love to work with her. I also would love to work with um, Morris Chestnut. You know, he's one of my favorite male actors.
Oh, he's on Reasonable Doubt too, and he's doing
Yes.
well.
I love that show. I binge watched that show.
I'm
So
getting caught up. I didn't. Did you start watching his other one, Dr. Watson, I think it was?
no, I haven't seen that one.
He's in a new series. It might be just Watson, but
Okay.
I think he plays some type of surgeon or doctor or something at a hospital or something like that. I haven't started watching it yet, but I know he's over there.
Okay, you gave me something else to binge watch. I'm gonna definitely have to go look at that.
Yes.
So it says here, that you are proud of your current role in Adeline Loggins and the Women of Movement, which you mentioned. What about that? Because I wanted to go back to that for a second because you said that was one of your favorite projects about Emmett Till and you was playing the mother. That particular storyline, everything about Emmett Till, they try to hide it. They don't want to put it out there. The insight about that is impeccable. And I've read a lot on Emmett Till and the whole story about it. What about that was so significant to you?
Well, I have little black nephews, and
Right.
all of them were 14 years old at some point in their lives. And I work with the youth ministry at my church in Mississippi and my church in North Carolina, and even at my church here in Georgia. Um, and little brown boys should be safe. You
Right.
know, they should be safe. And back in a time where they weren't, it was just unfortunate that that's how he had to lose his life, and at that level, the things that were done to him. And my scenes were directed by Black women. And Tina Mabry is also from Mississippi. So she directed one of my episodes. And it was just so much culture and richness. And I got to be me with my Southern drawl. I just got to settle into where I was and what I was doing. And I was just in the moment of being a Mississippi girl. So all of
Right.
it just felt natural and rich and comfortable, but also uncomfortable. And I got to work with some amazing actors, Jason Turner. I mean, it was all so good. And
Yeah.
I have my pictures and stuff, and I think back to my audition process because I had auditioned again for several roles in this project. And the casting director just kept sending stuff. And I'm like, my gosh, they gotta want to see me in some role in this project. And that's when I auditioned for the role that I booked of Adeline Loggins. And I said, if this is the last time that they request to see me, I'm going all the way out. So because it was shot in my club that I own, I know that with a hole in the wall juke joint, so you got to be sweaty
Yeah.
and cigarette smoke and all kind of stuff. And I put on a little tank top and no bra, because I felt like that in this juke joint they be sweating and everything is moving. I had my little cigarette and I did my audition and I just left it all on the tape. And after I booked, the casting director, shout out Mark Van Cannon, he told my agent I loved Schelle's audition. And when your agent can give you that kind of feedback, when the casting director is like, oh my gosh, I'm rooting for this person, job well done. It just makes you feel good. Is that head nod, hang in there, keep
Right.
going. When you get that kind of feedback, is you're not wasting your time. Go ahead and start saving that money for your new headshots. It gives you that to keep going.
Right. Now you played quite a few roles. If your agent wants to call you today and say, I have this particular role for you, what role is it that you would like to play that you haven't played yet, that you would love to get called to do?
I I want to do like an action detective. Like I want to slide across a car and kick somebody, and I want to I want to jump a fence and jump on somebody's back. I just want a real Mariska Hargitay, Law and Order. I
What's
am the
funny?
law and the order.
What's funny is any female I ask that question to, they always want to beat somebody else. What
I
is
want to
that?
slide. I want to do my own stunts so bad, but I can't stay out of line at Popeye's Chicken long enough to train to do nothing like that. So I'm just like, well, dang, maybe I need to be the captain and just sit at the desk.
But you want to play an action role.
I do. I
Yeah.
don't even have to be a superhero. Let me just be bad so I can just, tap somebody with my pistol or something. I don't know.
At playing action roles is hard work because the training that goes behind that and stuff. People, I don't think people understand all the training that goes behind practicing the
Getting ready for that.
move and everything. And it's a lot. And by
Yeah.
the time you start shooting it, and you have to do all these different cuts with the fight when you are wore out. Usually when they do fight scenes, I'm letting everybody know when they do fight scenes, that's usually the only role they do that day because it's so
It's
intense.
so much. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing, Wardell, when you're doing emotionally driven scenes where you have to
Yes.
cry. There were many days I left set from a
Mhm.
rose because I done cried all day long.
Right.
And when I got home, it would be some of the best sleep that I had had. You
Yeah.
remember as a child, when you got a whooping, you done cry so hard you go straight to sleep. That's that's how some of my days were leaving set, but I knew that we had left it all on tape for Tiff and post. So it's training with everything. And that's why
Yes.
I also want to encourage actors always be looking for another skill you can check off and add to your resume.
Yes.
Pickleball, skating, horseback riding. If you're not a swimmer, learn how to swim. Black women, we do like water most of the time. Get your wig, sis. Get them cornrows to the back. Get in that water.
That is hilarious. But people don't understand what goes into doing these roles. It's that's why I wanted you to express that because it's a lot when it goes to film, and we could be shooting one scene and it takes hours to shoot it, but in the movie it's only 2 minutes,
Ain't that
if
crazy?
if that.
That's crazy. We done flipped the world and the other person on the side of the camera, they sleep. They not giving you half of what you need to make your thing look, your camera work look good. It's a lot. And people are oftentimes confused with, you know, making movies.
Right,
Anybody can make a movie, but are you putting out good quality content and are you saying something?
right,
Are you saying anything other than I'm gonna rob you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna cheat on you? Like there has to be more.
right. Shell, we got 10 minutes left. Man, I tell you, it's like time go by so fast nowadays. I'm like,
Ah!
I just got the message. 10 minutes.
It don't
What?
seem like we've been on that long.
It don't. If you could give a bit of advice, so we've been actually giving advice all night, but if you could give um any upcoming actor advice, solid advice that will help them get through this film industry, what would that be?
Train.
Train.
Train and don't go into rooms acting like you know everything because then people are less likely to give you information. Since you know it all, you don't need to hear what I have to say.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So oftentimes when I'm on set, I'm not kikiing or making friends. I'm listening to what the cast is talking about, the crew is talking about, definitely the crew. Because as a filmmaker, I'm trying to figure out am I still using the right dialogue when it's
Right.
for me to produce? Is 10-1 still the same thing? 10 we still saying 10-2? Okay, good, good. First AD, you second. So I'm watching, like, it's a lot, especially if you know what I'm saying. So I'm never trying to be rude when I'm on set, and I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
Because if the director is getting ready to flip and change my whole scene, if I'm downstairs kikiing with somebody who is not in the particular scene, I'm not mentally prepared for what I just was ear hustling to find out. So then I'm
Right.
starting to think I'm already ahead of the director. Okay, so he gonna want me to move this to this. Okay, I'm gonna be ready. So when he comes to me, I'm gonna hear what he has to say. I'm gonna collab with what I already put in my head, and we're gonna see what happens. So I'm always trying to be a sponge on set. So it's important to train. It's important to add to your skills. It's important to network. Go out to events, especially anything that's free. And as an actor, you just have to know you have to invest in yourself. So
Yes.
don't think that that picture from 10 years ago is still what's popping. It's not. You lost a couple of pounds, your facial hair has come in quite a bit. And even though they want you to say whether or not you're willing to shave, you don't look like the picture that your agent is submitting or that you have been submitting. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Get online, go on the SAG website, and before you run off and join the union, find out what the requirements are in the state of Atlanta. And then on the West Coast, if you're trying to, eventually move to LA, you have to be prepared. You just can't wake up one day and say, I'm going straight to Hollywood. That works for about one person in the world.
That's some good advice. Very good
Got to
advice.
train.
How can people reach you on your social media handles?
It's my name on Facebook and IG at Schelle Purcell. And on TikTok, I think I am the real Schelle Purcell. And that's all. I think that's all that I'm on.
Okay.
I do coach. I coach people for a fee. There is a coaching fee. I do consultations for a fee. It's not a big fee, but come on, man. It's my time. I want to be able to give me a little Starbucks or something. I worked very hard for the information that I will give you. And I mean, I'm around here working a little bit, so.
Oh, you doing your thing. You doing more than working. What's next for you?
Oh my gosh. So once I win this NAACP Image Award.
That's what I'm talking about. You speak that into existence. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to Paris in February because there is a ladies' high tea that will be hosted in Paris by Arthur Ralph and the Rain Foundation. My good girlfriend, Dr. Miriam Sinnevert, has a book that's called Girl Just Show Up. And it has been put in alignment with this, the ladies' high tea. And we have a panel. We went to Ghana. I went to Africa for the first panel, and now it's going to Paris. And we have been invited to Paris. I'm directing a play with a young lady by the name of Dakira Williams. And I'm excited about being able to direct something on stage after I just got off of stage doing an amazing stage play called I've Cried the Blues. Shout out to Dennis Williams and Victoria Woodbury. And I get to finally, Wardell, we're stepping into producing my comedy feature film, Nurse Dad. So Tiffany and I are gonna work together to do that.
Okay.
And she said that she's gonna cast me in something when we was on stage, and so I'm gonna be waiting on my script for that. And who knows what will happen. Next year is gonna be an amazing year for Schelle Purcell, and I'm excited for those who will continue to follow me and support me and see where, God will take me next.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. You are amazing. By the way, I just got a message from Dieta. And she said, the show is amazing and you are amazing. Shout out to Deanna. She is watching the show. She played her mother on A Rose Through Cancer.
One of the best to ever do it. I love her.
On that note, Schelle, thank you once again. You are amazing. You are amazing. Thank you for taking the time out for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You will be getting that NAACP award because I'm going to be watching just to see.
And voting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're going to get them votes running.
For sure.
Thank
now,
you,
how can people vote for it?
So once the official nomination comes in, that's in January, and then there's a window from January to the beginning of February because the awards are in February. So when it opens up to the public, you will see my social media going crazy because we have this whole publicity campaign so that I'm, getting my votes out there by content. I'm gonna make some really, really good content
Okay.
to put out the awareness once I receive my official nomination.
And you will be getting that. I'm so
Thank
happy for you, Schelle. You deserve everything you're getting.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we will definitely work with each other again. I already know it and feel it, especially if Tiffany has anything to do with
Oh, for sure.
it.
Tiffany, my girl, man. Tiffany, my girl. She definitely had faith in me to do the movie that we did,
Yeah.
because I confided in her and told her, I have cancer right before we started shooting. And
Mm.
she said, "You're gonna do this, then we're gonna work through it."
And
And
she meant that.
she meant every bit of it, and I did that movie.
Yes, you did,
So
brother.
it was a great movie. People, when it come out, you have to go see A Rose Through Cancer. It will be in theaters, in AMC theaters real soon. We'll be promoting that when it comes out. So Schelle, you got a lot of promoting you gonna be doing real
Well,
soon.
I'm gonna get it done. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
On that note, this is Wardell Richardson on WCEG Wood, the Hollywood of the South. Love you guys. See you in 2 weeks for my next show. And we are signing out. Peace.